Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. I've shared my screen. Is it visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Yeah, this is the first question. Solve for x using the quadratic formula. So what's the value of a? What is a?
4.
4. What's the value of b?
4b.
4b. And c? c?
Minus a square plus b square.
Minus a square plus b square. Now first we'll find the discriminant d, which is b square minus 4ac. So b square. B square is not like this. This is not b square. This is b. The whole of b should be squared. So 4b, the whole square. This is not b square. This is wrong. So 4b, the whole square, minus 4 into a. 4 into 4. 4 into a into c. C is minus, you can use the brackets like this. 1 minute. 4 into a into c minus a squared plus b squared. So this is 16 b squared minus 16 into minus a squared plus b squared. So 16b squared minus minus into minus plus 16a squared minus 16b squared. So plus 16b squared minus 16b squared cancels. So d is equal to 16a squared, which is a perfect square. Yeah. Yeah, after this, you can continue and finish it. You can see the answer here. So you finish it and then I'll present it. Yeah, what are the values for x? You can write this as 4a minus 4b also if you want. Minus 4 is common. So minus 4 into b, minus into minus plus a by 8. Minus 4 common. B minus into plus is minus a by 8. And just continue here. We'll continue here. So x is equal to minus b plus a by 2, or cancel 1s are 2s are minus b minus a by 2. These are the two values for x. Minus 4 is common. Why do we take out the common factor? Because you can divide, you can simplify 4 in the numerator and 8 in the denominator. When you take out 4 common, you can simplify 4 in the numerator and 8 in the denominator. Supposing 5 was common in the numerator. Supposing 5 was common in the numerator. You don't have to take out 5 common because anyways the denominator is 8. Even if you take out 5 common, 5 and 8 you cannot simplify. So there you don't have to take out the common factor. You can just leave. If you had minus 5a minus 5b by 8, you can just leave it like that. Because even if you take out 5 common, you cannot simplify 5 and 8. Here we take out 4 common because you can simplify 4 and 8. Yeah, finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if the same question you were to solve by factorizing, okay? So here we have found the two values for x using the quadratic formula. I'm clearing the screen. Okay. If we have to just solve for x, the method is not specified. So you're free to use any method. So how can we find the values of x by factorization method? We have 4x squared plus 4bx minus a squared plus b squared is equal to 0. Now what you observe here is this is a perfect square. 4x squared is a perfect square. A square is a perfect square. B square is a perfect square. 4bx is not a perfect square. So we'll consider this as the middle term. We'll consider this as the middle term. Middle term is like in the expression a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. This 2ab is the middle term. Here also, minus 2ab. Plus 2ab and minus 2ab are the middle terms. So we'll consider this plus 4bx as the middle term. Now the middle term has the letters b and x. Now see here, if the middle term has a and b, here we have a square and b square. If the middle term is plus 2xy, then you will have an x square and y square. So if the middle term has b and x, you must take an x square term and a b square term. X square term and a b square term. To show you again. This equation can also be solved by factorization method. 4x squared plus 4bx minus a squared plus b squared. These three terms are square terms. They're perfect squares. 4x square, a square, b square. They're perfect squares. This one is not a perfect square. This one is not a perfect square. So we look at this as the middle term, which has b and x in it. So we consider b square term, this b square term and this x square term as the relevant, that a square and b square terms for this middle term. So we'll group these three terms, 4x squared plus 4bx plus b squared. And we'll write minus a squared outside the bracket like this. There are four terms. Okay, so there are four terms. Four bx. That's 4bx. Yeah. So there are four terms, of which three terms are perfect squares. So this term, we look at this as the middle term. It has b and x. So correspondingly, the x square term and the b square term, we take that as the square terms. So we group these two, we group these three terms, and we have this minus a square separately is equal to 0. So now this is 2x the whole squared plus b the whole squared. 2x the whole square plus b the whole square plus 2 into 2x into b plus 2 into 2x into b. Now see this is 4bx minus a the whole square is equal to 0. So now this is of the form a square plus 2ab plus b square, which is nothing but a plus b the whole square, a plus b the whole square, where a is 2x and b is b, a plus b the whole square minus a the whole square is equal to 0. So now this is a difference of two squares. Okay, x square minus y square is x plus y into x minus y. So x, this is x plus y into this x minus y is equal to 0. So now the product is 0, which means 2x plus b plus a is equal to 0, or 2x plus b minus a is equal to 0. So now you're working to find x. So have the x term on the left-hand side. Take all the other terms to the right-hand side. Okay, so 2x alone, you have it on the left-hand side. Take the others to the right-hand side. So we have minus b minus a. So x is equal to okay, so we have 2x is equal to minus b minus a. X is equal to minus b minus a by 2. Or 2x, have 2x on the left-hand side. Take the other terms to the right-hand side. So you have plus b on the other side, minus b. Minus a on the other side, plus a. So x is equal to minus b plus a by 2. Correct? Yeah. Keshav has sent a question and wants me to solve that. Yes, Keshav, we'll do that. Understood this one, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, do this one. Do this one first without using the quadratic formula. Solve for x by factorizing. We'll do it in both the methods. We'll do it using the quadratic formula and not using the quadratic formula by factorizing. So do the factorization method first. So open the bracket. We have abx squared plus b square x minus acx minus bc is equal to 0. Open the bracket. Okay. Now, we discussed this in the last class. When there are 4 terms with one x square term, 2 x terms, and a constant, that is a term that does not have x or x square. If we have 4 terms, of which one is an x square term, 2 are x terms, and the last one being a constant, which does not have x or x square, you can proceed to factorize by grouping. So group the first 2 terms because you have one x square term, 2 x terms, and the constant here. So group the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. What's common? Dx is common. Open bracket. Ax plus b is common, right? So b minus here cx is common. So a minus into plus is minus. Oh, sorry, here only c is common, not cx. C common. So we have ax minus into plus is minus, b is equal to 0. So ax plus b into bx minus c is equal to 0. So ax plus b is equal to 0. Ax is equal to minus b. X is equal to minus b by a. Or bx minus c is equal to 0. Bx is equal to c. X is equal to c by b. Completed, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, now take the help of the slide and work it using the quadratic formula. The same equation, you can see the roots. X is equal to c by b or minus b by a. Please work this using the quadratic formula. I'll just come back. Please work. All right. I hope all of you have completed. Listen to me. So the coefficient of x squared, that is, take away x squared. This is a. Take away this x. This is b. And this term, which does not have x or x squared, is the constant, which is c. This is a. This is b. And this is c. Now first find the discriminant, b square minus 4ac. So b square minus 4 into a into c. So it'll be minus 4 into a, which is ab, into c, into minus bc. So it is plus, it's plus 4 into 4a b square c. Minus 4 into a into c. So it's plus 4a b square c. Now don't open the bracket. Okay, now treat this one as x minus y the whole squared. So we have a very interesting identity, right? X plus y the whole squared minus x minus y the whole squared is equal to 4xy. Now what do we have here? X minus y the whole squared. We have something like x minus y the whole squared. So we have this one. So x plus y the whole square is equal to x minus y the whole square plus 4xy. So if you have x minus y the whole square plus 4xy, that can be written as x plus y the whole square. You just have to remember this identity. Then you can transpose and get the others. This is the identity you need to remember. X plus y the whole squared minus x minus y the whole squared is equal to 4xy. So from this identity, x minus y the whole squared plus 4xy is x plus y the whole square. So here you have x minus y the whole squared, where your x is b squared and your y is ac. X is b squared and y is ac. So what is 4xy? 4 into b square into ac. 4 into b square into ac. So see, this is nothing but 4b square ac, which you already have here. 4b square in ac, which you already have here. We're just writing this one as 4 into b square into ac. This one has 4 into b square into ac because it should look like 4 into x into y. So here we have x minus y the whole squared and plus so here we have this is x minus y the whole squared and plus 4, this is x and this is y. So x minus y the whole square plus 4xy is equal to x plus y the whole square is equal to x plus y the whole square. So what is x? B square plus y plus ac the whole square. And it's always a relief when d is a perfect square. When d is a perfect square, it's actually a big relief. Yeah, it is a perfect square. So it's b squared plus ac the whole square. Now the formula x is equal to minus b plus or minus root d by 2a. Substitute. And here, because it's a perfect square, the square and the square root, they'll get cancelled. So you have b squared plus ac. And you know how to proceed after this. One x values with the plus sign, the other x values with the minus sign. And we're still working? Okay. Yeah. Ignore the question. Okay. So a teacher wants to arrange the students of a class for a mass drill. Okay, the students of the class are arranged in the form of a solid square for a mass drill. So when the teacher attempted to do that, he found that 24 students were left over. That means they were not, the teacher was not able to accommodate all the students and make a square. He made a square, but he could not use 24 students. They were left out. He was not able to use all the students and make a square. When he had tried to arrange the students for a mass drill in the form of a solid square, 24 students were left over. He could not accommodate them in the square. But when he tried to increase the size of the square by one student, then he found that he was short of 25 more students. That is, he wanted 25 more students. He could not complete the square. To complete the square, he needed 25 more students. In the first case, he was able to make a solid square, but 24 students were not a part of that square. They were left over. They were alone. They were not a part of the square. So in the first case, he's able to make a square, but 24 students are left out. Extra. He has 24 extra students, but he made the square. In the second case, he increases the size of the square by one student. In the second case, he is not able to complete the square. He is not able to complete the square. He wants 25 students more to complete the square. So that's the difference between the two cases. In the first case, a square is formed. 24 students are in excess. In the second case, he increased the size of the square by one student. So he was not able to make the square. he fell short of 25 students. He wanted 25 more students. He fell short. In the first case, excess 24 students. In the second case, he was short of 25 students. He wanted 25 more students. So given this, we need to find the number of students of the class. Okay. So let the number of students, this will be easier. Let the number of rows, let the number of rows be x. Now, because it's a square, the number of columns also will be x. Therefore, number of columns is equal to x. Therefore, total number of students in the square is equal to x square. But what's the total number of students in the class? Total number of students in the class is equal to x square plus 24. Number of columns, we have seen earlier, number of columns is also the number of students in each row. We've understood this earlier. Number of columns, I'll just write that. Number of columns also means number of students in each row. Okay. In the second case, when he increased the size of the square by one student, that is, if it was earlier a 5 by 5 square, now he makes a 6 by 6 square. So he's increasing the number of columns and rows by 1. If earlier he had 5 rows and 5 columns, now he's making 6 rows and 6 columns. So number of rows, x plus 1. Number of columns, x plus 1. Correct? Earlier, if it was a 5 by 5 square, now he's increasing the size of the square by one student. So he makes a 6 by 6 square. Because see, if there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students in a row, and he makes another student stand here. So now there are 6 students in a row. So then there should be 6 columns also, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should also be 6 columns. Earlier 5 rows, 5 columns. Now 6 rows, 6 columns. That means he's increased the size of the square by one student. So new number of rows is equal to x plus 1. And new number of columns also is the same thing, x plus 1. Now in this case, the number of students is x plus 1 by x plus 1 the whole square. But he was not able to complete the square. He was not able to complete the square. So the total number of students in the class is equal to, now he was not able to complete the square, right? 1 second. Yeah, sorry, children. Yeah. So now x plus 1 rows and x plus 1 columns. So the total number of students in the class is not should be x plus 1 by x plus 1 the whole square. If he had completed the square, he could not complete the square. He was short of 25 students. Just a second, children. He was not able to complete the square. So x plus 1 the whole square students are not there. All the students he accommodated in the square, and he wanted 25 more students. So the number of students, all the students of the class are now a part of the square, but the square is not completed. So the total number of students in the class is x plus 1 the whole square if the square was completed. No, it was not completed. So many students are not there. How many students were required to complete the square? 25 more students. So that means 25, the square was short of 25 students. So the total number of students in the class is equal to x plus 1 the whole square minus 25. Now we will have to equate this and this. X squared plus 24 is equal to x plus 1 the whole square minus 25. So what is case 1? Number of rows x, number of columns x. He made the square. He made the square. So number of students in the square, x square. But the number of students in the square is not the total number of students in the class, because 24 students are standing outside the square. So the total number of students in the class is x square plus 24. This is the first case. In the first case, the square is completed. So x square students are there. X into x square students are there. And 24 students are outside the square. So the total number of students in the class is x square plus 24. In the second case, number of rows, x plus 1. Number of columns also x plus 1, because it's a square. So actually, how many students must be there in the square? If the square is completed, how many students should be there? X plus 1 the whole square. But no, the square is not completed. So many students are not there. In fact, the teacher wants 20. The teacher has made all the students of the class stand in the square. But the teacher needs 25 more students to complete the square. All the students of the class are there in the square, but it's not completed. 25 more students are needed. Now, when you say x plus 1 the whole square, this is more number of students. So many students are not there. So how many students short? Minus 25. So this is the actual number of students in case 2. So equate both. X squared plus 24 is because the total number of students is the same in both the cases. The total number of students is the same in both the cases. So x squared plus 24 is equal to x plus 1 the whole squared minus 25. On equating these two, you will be able to find the value of x. Yeah. Please complete this. Yeah, solve and tell me. I'll just come back. Please solve this. Yeah, what's the value of x, children? What's the value of x?
24.
Okay, and the number of students in the class?
600.
600. Correct. So we have x squared plus 24 is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 25. X squared on either side gets cancelled. So we have 24 is equal to 2x minus 24, right? Yeah. So 2x is equal to 48. X is equal to 24. So x is not the number of students. Total number of students in the class is x squared plus 24 or x plus 1 the whole square minus 25. You should substitute the value of x here or here to find the total number of students in the class. X does not represent the total number of students in the class. So x squared plus 24. So number of students is equal to, or total number of students is equal to, total number of students is equal to x squared plus 24, which is 24 squared plus 24, 576 plus 24, 600. So there are 600 students in the class. So first, the teacher made 24 rows and 24 columns. So when the teacher makes a solid square with 24 rows and 24 columns, the teacher was able to accommodate 576 students. But there are 600 students, right? So 24 students were not, accommodated in the square. So they were left out. So then he increases the size of the student. Then he increases the size of the square by one student. So he makes a 25 by 25 square. He tries to make a 25 by 25 square, for which he needs 625 students. So he tries to make a 25 by 25 square. He's made all the students stand. So all the 600 students are now there, as a part of the square. But he's not able to complete the square because he needs 625 students, but he has only 600 students. So he wants 25 students more. That was the second case. Okay. The next question. Okay. So in this question, the selling price of the article is 75 rupees. Listen to me. The selling price of the article is 75 rupees. And it's given that the dealer on selling, he gains as much percent as the cost price of the article. So if the cost price of the article is 10 rupees, he gains 10%. If the cost price of the article is 50 rupees, he gains 50%. If the cost price of the article is 75 rupees, he gains 75%. So he gains as much percent as the cost price of the article. Whatever is the cost price of the article, that much percentage is the gain percentage. He gains as much percent as the cost price of the article. So let the cost price of the article be rupees X. Then the gain percent is X percent. CP is X, so X percent is the gain percent. So how do you find the gain? Gain is always a percentage of the cost price. Gain is always, see, gain can be expressed in two ways, as a percentage and and in rupees. See, you can say gain is 500 rupees or 75%. You can express profit and loss in two different ways. You can express profit and loss as a percentage, 10% profit, 15% loss. Or you can also express them in terms of rupees. Rupees 1000 loss, rupees 750 is the profit, like that. So here we have gain as a percentage. What is gain in rupees? As a percentage, gain is X percentage. What is gain in rupees? For that, you should work like this. Gain is equal to X percent of the CP. Gain, that is the profit or loss, that percentage is always applied on the cost price, not the selling price. Profit percentage and loss percentage are always calculated on the cost price, not the selling price. So the gain or the profit in rupees is X percent of the CP. X percent means X by 100. Of means multiplication. X percent is X by 100 because 5% means what? 5 by 100. 10% is 10 by 100. X percent is X by 100. Of is into. CP is X. I'm just substituting. X percent is X by 100. Of means multiplication. CP is X. CP is X. Okay. So that gives us X into X squared by 100. Rupees X squared by 100. So that's the profit in rupees. Now, what's the equation? How do you construct the equation? We know that cost price plus gain is equal to selling price. See, like sometimes we use the Pythagoras theorem, right? If it's a right triangle, we use the Pythagoras theorem to construct the equation, the quadratic equation. In the same way here, to construct the quadratic equation, we use the formula cost price plus gain is equal to selling price. See, this is the formula. Cost price plus gain is equal to selling price. So what's the cost price? X. Gain X squared by 100 is equal to the selling price 75. I will have to solve this and find the value of X. And X is the cost price of the article. Yeah. So what are the two numbers to split the middle term? Or have you used the quadratic formula? Okay, please work and let me know. You can split the middle term or use the quadratic formula. Yeah, children, please tell me the value of x.
150 and minus 150.
Correct. 50 and minus 150.
Minus
Okay. So x squared plus 150x minus 50x minus 7,500 is equal to 0. You can also use a quadratic formula. So using the numbers given by Shakti, I've split the middle term. So x into x plus 150 minus 50 into x plus 150. So x plus okay. Therefore, this is not possible, no? Cost price cannot be negative, so this is not possible. Therefore, CP of the article is equal to rupees 50. So what's the CP? 50 rupees. And what's the profit percentage? 50%. 50% profit. So what is 50% of 50 rupees? 50% is half, no? 100% is full. So 50% meaning half. So what is 50% of 50 rupees? 50% of 50 rupees. And that two are 25 rupees. So what will be the selling price? Cost price 50 plus profit 25. So 75 is the selling price. The cost price of the article is 50. 50% of 50% is the gain percent. Gain percent is equal to CP percent. So 50% is a gain. So how will you find that in rupees? 50% of the CP of 50. So 50% is 50 by 100, off is into 50. So 51 are 52 are, and 50 by 2 is 25. So 25 is the gain. So cost price 50 plus 25 gain is equal to 75, which is the selling price given in the question. All right. Just a second. I'll just come back. Just a minute, children. I've unshared my screen. Okay. So this is from the epic Mahabharat. The angry Arjun carried some arrows for fighting with Bhishma. The angry Arjun carried some arrows for fighting with Bhishma. With half the arrows meaning not half of not half of one arrow. So supposing he carried 100 arrows, with half the arrows meaning 50 arrows. With half the arrows meaning not half of an arrow. If he carried 100 arrow, if he had carried 100 arrows, then half of that 50. Okay. So with half the arrows, he cut down the arrows thrown by Bhishma on him. So it's between Arjun and Bhishma. So with half the number of arrows, he cuts down all the arrows thrown by Bhishma on him. And with 6 other arrows, he killed the Rath driver of Bhishma. So this is between Arjun and Bhishma. So with 6 other arrows, he killed the Rath driver of the chariot driver. Rath driver meaning the chariot driver. Okay, so the chariot driver of Bhishma. With 1 arrow each, he knocked down. With 1 arrow each, he now knocked down respectively the Rath, that is the chariot, flag, and the bow of Bhishma. So with 1 arrow each, so with 1 arrow, he knocks the chariot, the Rath of Bhishma. With 1 arrow, he knocks the flag. He brings the flag down. And with another arrow, he knocks the bow of Bhishma. Finally, with 1 more than 4 times the square root of the arrows, finally, with 1 more than 4 times the square root of arrows, he laid Bhishma unconscious on an arrow bed. Find the total number of arrows Arjun had. So let the total number of arrows Arjun had be X. Okay. Let the total number of arrows Arjun had be X. Okay. So now let's see from the beginning. With half the arrows, he cut down the arrows thrown by Bhishma. So he uses X by 2. He uses X by 2. With half the arrows, he cuts down the arrows thrown by Bhishma. So X by 2 arrows he uses to cut down the arrows thrown by Bhishma. And then with 6 others, he killed the Rath driver of Bhishma. So plus 6. And then with 1 arrow each. So he uses 1 to knock the flag, 1 to knock the chariot, 1 to knock the bow. Then finally, with 1 more than, see here, 1 more than, 4 times, 4 times means 4 into what? 4 times the square root of the arrows. So square root of the arrows is square root of X. How many arrows he has? X arrows. How many arrows he has? X arrows. So square root of the number of arrows, so square root of X. 4 times that. 4 times that meaning 4 into root X. 1 more than that, plus 1. Square root of the number of arrows is square root of X, because number of arrows X. So square root of the number of arrows, square root of X. 4 times the square root of the number of arrows. So 4 times means 4 into square root of X. 1 more than that, plus 1. So with one more, finally with one more than, so plus 1 more than 4 times the square root of arrows. So 4 into square root of x. He laid Bhishma unconscious on an arrow bed. So like this, he uses all his arrows to defeat Bhishma and finally lay Bhishma on an arrow bed. So he's now used all the arrows. So find the total number of arrows Arjun had. So when you add all this, it's equal to the total number of arrows Arjun had is equal to x. So this is how we spent. This is how we used all the arrows. So when you add all this, it will be equal to the total number of arrows he had, which is x. So you can add the numbers 6 plus 1, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have x by 2 plus 4 root x. This x will come here. So minus x plus 10 is equal to 0. Write down, children, if you're writing the question, then I'll come. And okay, so for those who want to proceed, if you've written the question, you can just say you can do it in 2 ways. Okay, first take down the question. Let me know if you're finished. Okay. Go to the next slide. So we have x by 2 minus x. What is x by 2 minus x? Minus x by 2. X by 2 minus x is minus x by 2 plus 4 root x plus 10 is equal to 0. Now let root x be equal to y. So when you square on both the sides, root x the whole square is equal to y square when you square on both the sides. So we have x is equal to y square. X is equal to y square. So minus, what is x? Y squared by 2 plus 4. What is root x? Y plus 10 is equal to 0. So take the LCM, cross multiply, and find the value of y. But we have to find the number of arrows Arjun had, which is x. So you should find y and then you should find x. Please complete. Take a screenshot, children. If you have not taken the question fully, please take a screenshot. I need to present the next slide. Yeah. So we know that x is y squared. See here, x is y squared. The total number of arrows is x, which is y squared. Y is 10, but the total number of arrows is y squared, which is x. Therefore, so he had 100 arrows. Why y squared? Because y squared is only x. Done, children? Completed, children? Please respond. Is it over?
Completed.
Okay.
Completed.
Very good. Okay. Now there's a question from another student. Let's just see how much we can recall from polynomials. Now, the question is find the zeros. Find the zeros of f of x equals 6x squared minus 3 and verify the relationship. Verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. Yeah. So how do we find the zeros? Tell me. How do we find the zeros of 6x squared minus 3? I know response. See, you can work it like this: 6x squared minus 3 is equal. To find the zeros, you have to equate the polynomial to 0. To find the zeros, you need to equate the polynomial to 0. So 6x squared minus 3 is equal to 0. 6x squared is equal to 3. X squared is equal to 3 by 6. So x is equal to plus or minus square root of 1 by 2. X is equal to plus or minus square root of 1 by 2. X is equal to plus or minus 1 by root 2, because square root of the numerator 1 is 1. Numerator square root of 1 is 1 and 2 remains under the square root. So x is equal to plus or minus 1 by root 2. Therefore, alpha is equal to 1 by root 2 and beta is equal to minus 1 by root 2. Sorry. So alpha is equal to 1 by root 2 and beta is equal to minus 1 by root 2. Now we need to verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. So 6x squared minus 3 should be treated as 6x squared plus 0x minus 3 is equal to 0. 6x squared minus 3 is equal to 0 should be written as 6x squared plus 0x minus 3 is equal to 0. The x term is missing, right? So what's the value of A? 6. What's the value of B? 0. What's the value of C? Minus 3. So how do we verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients? Sum of the zeros. Sum of the zeros. Okay, 1 by root 2 plus minus 1 by root 2, which is 0, which is 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2, which is 0. All right? The sum of the zeros is 0. And the sum of the zeros should be equal to minus b by a. What is minus b by a? Minus b, 0 by a, 6, which is 0. 0 by 6 is 0. So there's no, like question of whether it is minus 0 or plus 0, because 0 is neither positive nor negative. 0 by 6 is 0. So we have verified that alpha plus beta. Therefore, alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a is equal to 0. We have verified that. Next, we have to find alpha beta. Alpha beta is equal to alpha is 1 by root 2 into beta is minus 1 by root 2. So which is minus 1 by 2. Alpha beta minus 1 by 2. Alpha beta should be equal to C by A. What is C by A? C is minus 3 by A 6. So minus 1 by 2. So we see that alpha beta is equal to C by A. Hence verified. Hence verify. Correct, Tanishka?
Yes, ma'am.
You can know which part is like not easy to understand. You should ask me.
Now I can understand the sum, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Very good. So you can find the values of x by splitting the middle term only when we have all the three terms. We should have the x square term, the x term, and the constant. Only then we can split the middle term and find the two values for x. You should have the x square term, the x term, and the constant, or y square term, y term, constant, whatever is the variable. You must have all the three terms. Only then you can find the zeros by splitting the middle term. If you don't have all the three terms, you have only two terms, you cannot split the middle term. So this is the case where you have the x square term and the constant. This is where you have the x square term and the constant. So you can work like this to find the value of x. If you have the x square term, now supposing you have the x square term, and say, for example, if you have minus 4x, if your f of x is equal to x square minus 4x. In this question, we have the x square term and the constant. You can also have the x square term with the x term. So in these cases, we cannot find the zeros by splitting the middle term. Splitting the middle term is only when we have all the three terms. So here what we have to do is, we have to equate the quadratic polynomial to 0 to find the zeros. Here you should take out x common. X common. So x minus 4 is equal to 0. So now the product is 0. So that means x is equal to 0 or x minus 4 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 4. So alpha is equal to 0, beta is equal to 4. Or alpha is equal to 4, beta is equal to 0. That order is not important. One value goes for alpha, the other value goes for beta. So now how will we verify sum of the zeros? Sum of the zeros is okay. Before that, the quadratic equation is, the constant is missing, right? So you just put plus 0 there. So the value of A is 1, the value of B is minus 4, and the value of C is 0. So now alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta is 0 plus 4, which is 0, which is 4, sorry. Minus B by A is equal to minus B, this is B, by A, which is 4. So therefore, alpha plus beta is equal to minus B by A. Next, we'll have to find C by A. That is the product of the zeros first, of course. So alpha beta is equal to 0 into 4, 0. C by A is equal to C is 0 by 1, which is 0. So therefore, alpha beta is equal to C by A. Hence verified. Yeah, since it's time, children, please take a screenshot of these two slides. You can complete them later. Please take a picture. Yeah, this one also. All right. Done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, children. Okay. Class use emoji. Raise your hand. Hari Pranav, Aragamai, Swati, Blessy, Tanishka, Prenu, Bhavashya, Keshav, Anugraha, Krishnapriyan, Sabarna, Sadhana, Niveda, Srivatsan, Pratishan, Shakti. Shakti, you alone, please stay back after the class. I need to get the details about the phone number to be added in the group. Just stay back. All right.
Okay,
All right, children. Yeah. All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. Good night. You may leave the call.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Good night.